How valuable is money?
And how weird is a mask?
How can you look things up on papyrus?
How?
How can you walk through Buckingham Palace without getting caught?
You can't. The guards would bang you up straight away.
Yeah, the security, very, very tight, Fred. I wouldn't try it if I were you.
I will show you how you can walk straight through Buckingham Palace. There's Buckingham Palace, and this is a very, very clever little cutting how. We can all do it at the same time, if you like. One for you, one for you. What you do with your photograph of Buckingham Palace, or whatever else is, you bend it over like so,
Yes.
and then you begin to cut near, but not quite at one edge, from the bent-over side, almost, but not quite all the way through.
All right.
Turn it over
Okay.
and quite close to the first cut, do another cut, almost, but not quite all the way through, and so on all the way down the card to the other end. You are then left with something which looks exactly like that. Lots of little cuts, and what you then do is cut not at the edge, but at the one flap in, and cut straight up the middle. Again, not to the very edge, but one nick in. How are you getting on?
All right.
Then, what you must do is very, 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 very delicately pull the whole thing apart, extremely, extremely, extremely delicately.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you put it over your little head like so, and pull it all the way down, 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 down. And there you are. You're all the way through, and that's how you walk through Buckingham Palace without getting caught.
Wonderful, Fred. Now get down from the table, will you, please? On to another how. How valuable is money? Well, if you're lucky enough to get pocket money, you'll know that your pocket money will buy you less and less every year due to inflation. Have a look at this. This Beano, this was printed in 1957. The price in those days, 2D. Old pennies, which is the equivalent of 1 pence nowadays. If we then come forward to 1983, the price has gone up to 12 pence, but the same Beano. The same Beano in 1991 now costs 26 pence. Well, this price rise happened over 35 years, but can you imagine if a similar price rise happened in a very short space of time, what the problems might be? Let me take you to my bread shop in downtown Berlin. The year 1919. Customers, please.
Morgen, Brot bitte.
1 loaf, 1 mark.
Danke,
Thank you.
Guten Morgen, Fräulein. I have 1 mark Brot, bitte.
1 loaf. Thank
Dankeschön.
you. Let us now move on. The year 1921.
Morgen, Brot bitte.
That's 28 marks, please.
Danke.
Thank you. There's your
Bitte,
loaf.
Guten Morgen, Fräulein. Brot also, bitte. I have only 1 mark.
You have only 1 mark. In that case, you shall have only 1 slice. Thank
blimey.
you. We now move on. The year 1922.
Morgen, Brot bitte.
974 marks, please.
Dankeschön.
That's lovely. There's your loaf. Thank you
Danke,
very
bitte.
much. Now, you will have noticed that the price has gone from 1 mark to nearly 1,000 marks in less than 4 years. Let us move on. The year 1923, the month, July.
Morgen, Brot bitte. Fräulein.
Logan, that's 960,000 marks, please. Thank you.
Dankeschön.
There is your loaf.
Danke.
See, I'll just put it in the till. That's very nice. Thank you very much. Let's move on now to November.
Morgen,
Good
Brot
morning.
bitte.
That's 600,000 million marks, please.
600,000 million.
Oh, that
Danke.
is a lot of paper. Could you leave the wheelbarrow and I will go for that one off.
Danke.
Thank you. Now, ridiculous as that may seem, it actually happened. And the reason why it happened is because people lost confidence in the value of their money. In fact, the paper became more valuable than the notes on which it was printed. Now, how did they get over this problem? Well, what they started to do to save people bringing in wheelbarrows full of money was they started to print different notes. They started with 100 marks. They soon went to 1,000, from there to 100,000, from there to 10 million, from there to 1,000 million, and from there to 500,000 million marks.
But it couldn't go on. How did they solve the problem?
Well, they had to employ all sorts of heavy devices to sort out the inflation. But what they said, forget about all these noughts on the end. We'll just start from day one with 1 mark all over again.
So how much does bread cost in Germany today?
About a mark, actually, still.
In that case, finally, Fraulein, I would like to purchase some bread.
I happen to have some bread here, thank you very much. And that is how valuable money can be. It's how valuable you want it to be.
How weird is a mask? Masks on, chaps.
Or even masks.
Yes, yes. Oh, very nice, Carol. I think that's absolutely wonderful. Very good fun. Well, people, I don't know how weird a mask is. It depends what the mask is of, OK? Mask's off and enough of that. Yeah, it depends who the mask is of. In fact, have a look at this mask of me. In fact, it's more than a mask. It's actually a moulding. What do you think of that, huh?
That's wonderful, but it's not very weird.
Not weird at all,
Not
really.
weird?
No,
OK.
no.
Well, using this moulding of me, would you like to see some weird masks of me? Check out these two. Now then, if you look carefully at these masks, they look absolutely the same. But watch what happens if I turn the mask on the right-hand side of your screen. Watch this.
Oh, that's very weird.
Yeah?
That is weird, yes.
Now, what is happening here? Let me show you. Well, this mask on this side here is a perfectly normal, sticky-out mask. If I turn it that way, you can see, there it is, a mask of me with the nose sticking out where it's supposed to. There, like that. But this mask here, if I turn it around, you'll see what's going on. It's actually on the back. In the front, it's hollow. The nose actually goes in. Now, the brain is not used to looking at noses that goes in, and if it sees a nose that goes in, it thinks, that nose is supposed to be sticking out. And it confuses the brain enough to create an optical illusion. Here are some masks of world leaders. See if you can work out which one is weird. Yep, you guessed right. It was me, Ronnie Reagan, all along.
How can a bird song string you along? Hark, what's that I hear? Of course, it's not a bird at all, actually. It's a very talented violinist called Catherine Gowers. How do you produce those wonderful sounds?
The first one I did is a trill, which I play very high up on my top string, and it's 2 notes at fast succession, like this.
And that's what birds actually do. They do play 2 notes at the same time because they've got a syrinx, as opposed to us, we've got a larynx. And what others did you play?
Another I did was with a grace note, which I played like this.
And there was one more, wasn't there?
Yes, this was a glissando, where you keep the finger on the string and just move it.
Beautiful. That's how a bird song can string you along. A little more, please.
How do you make egg in toast?
No, Toppy, egg on toast. Standard fare rounded shade top, egg on toast.
No, I haven't made a mistake. I'm talking about egg in toast, not egg on toast. And this is how you do it. Very simple. Piece of bread, lay it on a breadboard, then you take a cup and you lay the cup over the bread, push down, and then turn. Now, this is the clever bit. The twist there will remove the centre bit of bread, so, and it stays in there. This is the bread that we're interested in. And what do you do with it? Well, you pop it into a pan of hot fat or oil or butter, whatever it is you like to cook in. Of course, being very careful, you then crack an egg into that hole in the middle of the bread. Here it comes. Now, the trick is to let a little bit of the egg white in first, just to seal it round the edge, and then drop in the yolk without breaking it. How about that, huh? Add a little bit of flavour, a bit of pepper I rather like in mine. I want a bit of salt, being as we've got some here. Why not? The egg will cook most of the way through, so what you need to do is to remove the egg in bread, or egg in toast, I should say, from the pan very carefully and put it on a grill. Now then, here we go, very carefully, underneath, and straight onto the grill. Now, after a few minutes in the grill, it will be cooked on top as well as right the way through. And in the grand tradition of television cooking, here's one that I cooked earlier. Come here, come here. There. Now, it doesn't have to be just an O. You can make any shape you want, really. How about that lot? How's about that, then? OK, you guys, grubs up.
Marvellous culinary how.
Thank you very much. Fred, you take the W there,
Thank
sir.
you very much
Yes.
indeed. Thank you.
Carol, help yourself to that.
Pepper on this one.
Lovely, I'll get the H.
Absolutely
Lovely.
delightful.
Tuck in, chaps. And that's how you make not egg on, but egg in toast.
Gareth, you won't forget the address, will you? Shall I do it for you? Because if you want to know how to make egg in toast or any of the other hows you've seen, why not send away for the free How Fact book? Here's the address. It's How To, P.O. Box 1, Maidstone, Kent, ME14 5LL. How To, P.O. Box 1, Maidstone, Kent, ME14 5LL. How can you look things up on papyrus? Let me put the food away. Now, for this particular how, I've done enormous research in ancient Egypt, because in Egypt they have a wonderful plant called papyrus. On the banks of the Nile, it grows 12 feet tall. This one I've grown in my back garden, and it's not quite as big as that. And what you do is you chop yourself off a lump of frond, like so. Hold on. It's quite a difficult how, this. And this frond is full of sticky, pithy stuff, and you want to get that pithy stuff out, you see. And you do that by slicing off slivers of papyrus, much the same way that I'm doing here. And the ancient Egyptians discovered that by laying these slivers lengthways and sideways and every which way but loose, and then applying enormous pressure to the whole lot, using a method slightly similar to this, they finished up with something that you could write and draw on, just like that. Beautiful papyrus. The only problem with this stuff is you can't fold it, because if you do, it's so brittle, it actually snaps. So they had all their paintings and words on huge papyrus rolls. And it's an amazing thing, this. I've got my entire address book on a roll of papyrus.
I don't believe you.
I have.
I don't believe you.
Walk this way. And here it is, my papyrus roll address book. Every number in here you could possibly want. From Ahmed's asp shop to Zachariah's zebra shop.
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding
where's
at all.
mine, then?
Well, let me just show you. It's the wrong way around, but let me just show you. Ahmed's asp shop, there we are.
Yeah.
378, Egypt, that is, of course. Your number, Carol?
Yeah, my number.
You'll be
Under
in my...
Carol.
No,
Let's
you'll
see,
be in there in my
see.
papyrus. There you are, under
Yeah.
Cleopatra, 8934.
That's right, that's right.
Am I in here, Fred?
You're in there as well?
What's he under?
Well, I put him under Gaz, funnily enough. I don't know why I did that, but
Takes a while.
Gaz, Egypt 4201. But you can see the problem with the papyrus roll. It takes a while to spool through it. It's just like spooling through a tape on a cassette. So they were very relieved, the ancient Egyptians, when someone finally discovered paper, because paper led to the ultimate invention, the greatest invention of them all. Do you know
The
what it
wheel.
was? No.
The computer.
No.
CD?
The book. An address book. And in there are all the numbers that I've just
Where's
mentioned
my
to
number
you.
then? Go on.
Right, there we are. Carol, 8934.
Ahmed's asp shop number.
No, I know. Zachariah's zebra shop, because I want to go there on
Zachariah's.
Saturday.
You want to buy a zebra? Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach. Oh.
Is he there?
No.
What do you mean he's
Well,
not there?
he'll be on my papyrus roll, address book. If you can just help me here.
You need to wind in, Carol.
Yes, he'll be under Z. There he is, Zachariah's zebra shop. There we are, 4463.
The reason why I was asking for Ahmed's asp shop is I didn't write it down earlier on.
Ahmed's asp shop. You want that one again? Right, we're going to go back here. Under A for Ahmed's.
Keep coming.
That's it. A for...
Hold that up, Fred. It'll tear.
Right.
Oh, here we are.
See, that's the trouble with papyrus. There we are, Ahmed's Asp Shop, and the number is... And the number is there. There it is, 378. So that's how you can look things up on a papyrus roll, and that's how for now. You've really